Welcome everybody to the 40 Finance channel. My name's Jeff Beers, and today I want to talk about all this Netflix hate that's going out in light of the Disney Plus announcement and Disney taking all their movies off Netflix and opening their own streaming service. From an investment point of view, right? From a Netflix stock point of view, I'm here to give you some reasons why it almost doesn't even matter what Disney Plus is doing. And I think a lot of the hype around Disney Plus and how it affects Netflix is wildly overblown. So let's jump in. All right, so the first thing to keep in mind with this entertainment market is there's plenty of room for multiple competitors. You can think back to the cable TV days. You can think back to the days when movie theaters were more prominent and they were the only place to see movies. You can think back to a lot of use cases in entertainment where the distribution points were massive and everybody had a hand in the game. And that's what I think we'll see in the streaming market as well. Okay, so the bottom line is customers paying money for Netflix stock to win. That's all we care about, okay? We don't necessarily care about what shows are on there or why they do it. We just need to know that customers keep buying memberships to Netflix. And I think they will, because at the end of the day, people pay money for selection, ease of use, low prices, and quality. And all those things are wrapped into Netflix. They're also wrapped into other streaming providers. So the concept of having only one streaming service or having only two streaming services, even as these years keep moving on, is ridiculous. People are going to have three or four. Those that care to watch TV and movies are going to have three or four of these services. And Disney will be one of them, Netflix will be one of them, and Netflix will be more profitable in the long run because they've been doing it longer. Okay, so the other side of this coin that no one seems to be talking about is the head start that Netflix has on Disney. It's Disney who needs to catch up to the early adopters, right? It's not flip-flop. Netflix doesn't need to catch up to Disney. Disney needs to catch up to Netflix, particularly from a worldwide scale. I got some information off this slide from Yahoo Finance, and it claims that Netflix has 139 million users, okay? Compare that to Hulu at 30 million. Amazon has 100 million, which is great. The Amazon numbers are always going to be a little wishy-washy though, because it's part of their Prime membership, and how many people would have bought that service only for television and movies is kind of unknown. But Netflix is beating Amazon, which means that there's more Netflix subscribers than there is Amazon Prime members, because with Prime, you get the movie service for free. That's a pretty impressive number. And Disney, if and when it launches in Q3, Q4 of this year, will have 0 users. So they've got a long way to go to steal from Netflix, okay? And when you're starting with 139 like Netflix is, and you have global expansion already in your plans, Netflix as a company that is going to survive and profit in the long run, it will take a long time for any sort of demise to occur. Okay, so the other thing to keep in mind with Netflix from an opportunity standpoint, even though Disney is taking their content, they're taking their ball and going home, and they're going to run it all on that platform. So that's fine. That's a loss, right? They lose a substantial side of their library is going away. However, in this streaming game, partnerships are king, and Netflix has plenty of other opportunities to partner with other content makers. And I just listed a few on here that are open for partnerships, right? So you got NBC, Hulu, HBO, Roku, Sony, and there's some of the movie studios as well. So everyone thinks that content is going to go to the individual providers, which it might at first, but eventually distribution is going to be king. And guess who has the most distribution? Netflix, with 139 million subscribers. Some of these little guys, like I'm just gonna say like a Cartoon Network or some other cable channel, AMC, who is trying to get out there on their own, they're really gonna struggle with getting people to pay for a much smaller library. However, from a distribution standpoint, they can make just as much money putting their content on Netflix because they're gonna get paid by the view. They're gonna get 100 times more views on the Netflix platform, and they're gonna have to do less work. So partnerships are going to be growing in this space. I think right now there's a little bit of territorial pissing, so to speak, where people are taking their content and they're like, well, maybe we should do this and maybe we should have our own sort of walled garden. But as the floodgates come open and streaming becomes even more mainstream, there's a lot of guys that are going to throw up their hands and say, why are we trying to build our own service when we can get 139 million people on Netflix, get some residual income, and basically do nothing to make that money? So it will happen. There will be partnerships from the Netflix side coming out. We don't know who yet, but I guarantee you it's in the future. Okay, so the other argument I hate about Disney taking their movies and shows and leaving is that everybody acts like that's the only thing that people watch is Disney, right? So yes, they are big, they are popular. However, not everybody likes comic books and animation films, okay? And while I do watch some of that stuff, and I have 3 kids, so I've certainly seen my share of Disney movies and features, if I'm sitting by myself on a couch, it's gonna be pretty rare that I turn on any of those things. And so to think that the world is full of people with kids who like comic books and princesses is foolish. I went on Rotten Tomatoes just out of curiosity, and I saw lists of the top 10 TV shows in 2018 and the best movies. And on the TV shows, number 1 was a show called Homecoming. That's on Amazon. The next one was a show called Barry. That's on HBO. Killing Eve, BBC. Atlanta, FX. Cobra Kai is a YouTube show. Glow is a Netflix show. The Good Place is an NBC show, okay? And it goes on and on and on. So at the end of the day, there is plenty of other content that people are watching and enjoying. Nowhere on the TV show list is there a specific Disney property, okay? So keep that in mind. On the movie side of things, I just went with 2018 since it was a completed year. And we see that Disney does have the number 1 movie of 2018, which was Black Panther. They also have the number 4, which was a Spider-Man piece. However, that leaves 8 other movies. Mission Impossible, Black Klansman, Roma, Star is Born, 8th Grade, Paddington 2. That's 8 movies, the top of 2018, that are not owned by Disney. Okay, so to think that movies start and stop at Disney World is absolutely untrue. And I think what you're going to see in all the production of television shows and movies, the scale in the startup world is getting smaller. So it is so much easier thanks to things like YouTube and platforms like Netflix, who will bring on smaller creators. The creativity is there. You don't have to go through the corporation of Disney, get a whole bunch of things approved. You can actually partner with a Netflix or some of these other smaller channels and get award-winning shows to hit the market immediately. So I think Netflix has an advantage in that space. And while they'll miss some of Disney's content, absolutely for sure, it's far from the end of the game. Okay, and looking about what other analysts think about Netflix in the future, went to the Trusty Tip Ranks dashboard, sorted by the best performing analysts, and of the 27 that I found, and this is after the Disney Plus announcement, okay, you had 22 that were still buyers, you had 5 holders, no sellers, okay, that's out of 27 top performing analysts. The average projection is a $432 stock price for Netflix over the next 12 months. That's currently a 23% upside. And then the high end of the projections for one of these analysts was $500. The low was $320, which is just a little bit below flat for today. And at the end of the day, you've got all these 5-star analysts who have updated since the Disney Plus announcement. They're still holding a buy rating on Netflix. Guys, Netflix isn't giving up, okay? They're not packing it in. They have been projecting the market of entertainment for a long time now. They went from DVDs in the mail to beat out Blockbuster to streaming television before anyone even thought about it. They are ahead of the game. Disney, everyone and their mom knew that Disney was doing this a year or 2 years ago. They are prepared. What they're going to do remains to be seen, but I promise you one thing. They're not going to sit down and give up just because Disney took some TV shows and movies home. I stick by where their starting point is compared to Disney. They have 139 million users. Disney has 0. I give the advantage to Netflix in the long run. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have another view, leave it in the comments. My name's Jeff Beers. I'll see you on the next video.